So one of the things that I was looking at and was trying to go deep into as we started into this particular study is wanted to know what is the pretty much like the title says, what is the whole duty of man, or what is our purpose here on life. And when we get into how Ecclesiastes speak of this, we can sum it up with these last two verses right here in chapter 12. So if you go to Ecclesiastes, the 13th and the 14th chapter, I'm at the 13th and the 14th verse, and it tells us just like this. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God, keep his commandments, for this is man's all, or this is man's whole duty. And then it says, for God will bring every work into judgment, including every secret thing, whether good or evil. So this right here is how we're going to export all of this information in. We're going to go deep into it, see what the word tells us, and see if we can get some permanent notes, create ourselves a mind map, and just truly get deep into this study. So from here, what we're going to do is, you see, this is some of the stuff that we was already working on. So I'm going to go ahead and create ourselves a fleeting note, and I'm going to do that with the Obsidian web browser. And if you want to know more about how to use that, just click on the link above. And by doing so, I'm going to get all the information that I need, and I'm going to export it into our vault that we're working on right now. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of simplify that some. Got the long term. See if it worked. No, it didn't go in there. So let me do it again. I screwed up. So one of the things that you want to make sure that you always do is make sure you click the add to Obsidian button. So right here, I'll delete that, and then we're going to add it to our fleeting note. And as I do so, what we should have happen, and it didn't do it. So let me pause. Well, I had some technical difficulty, but what you do is once you hit the web browser, the web clipper for Obsidian within your web browser, it's going to add it into our fleeting notes. And right here in our fleeting notes, we got the entire 12th chapter of Ecclesiastes, and all we want to work with is this last, the last two verses right here, and it's pretty much 13 through 14. And if you've seen that, it's literally showing all of the stuff, with all the I guess you would, the best way to tell you, it's all the HTML and everything. So don't worry about that. If you were to just look at it in the normal, form where you can read it and stuff, this is it right here. And then we do have links that would go, if you still within the web browser, it would actually allow you to go to some of the references in the footnotes that it has. But what we want to do is we want to create a Cornell-Zettel so that we can start working on this. So like always, we're going to hit Control P, and we're going to hit Control T, and we're going to create ourselves a Cornell-Zettel, and it just don't want to work today. Come on now. It's one of them days. So what we want to do is we want to create a Cornell-Zettel. I'm going to go ahead and give the title of this particular Cornell-Zettel. That way we will start working from it, and from there I'm going to call it Man Work Shall Be Judged. Man. Okay, so now we're going to hit Control T to get our our template, and we're going to create the Cornell-Zettel just like that. So now let's get where we can actually work with it. So we see that we have this here where we can actually work. I even want to just really pin this. So I right clicked and I'm going to hit pin. That way it doesn't move. And I'm going to also close out the beginning of knowledge. That way we got this here. So some of the questions that, want to ask as we read this is, what's some of the things that we want to get out of the two verses? And some of the things that I had already came up with and stuff is, what is the whole duty of man? That is literally one of the main things we want to, come to. And man meaning mankind, not man is a man and not including a woman. So one of the things that we have right there is to fear God. Now, one of the things that we've been working on, we've actually already have got something that reference to fear God in there, and it's a permanent note. So what we would want to do is, if you want to connect and have these notes to be connected to some of your other permanent notes and your other Cornell-Zettels stuff, what we can do right here is we can search and see if we already got fear God or to fear God. And when we look, we have all of these references to it and stuff. So one of the things we want to do is see if we can actually find it. Okay, we got 20 references. It's like, what does it do to man? And see right here, got that. And you see, we got all of that. We got what is it to fear God? We've already, got something about that. But we also have a permanent note that talks about this. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to clear this out. And one of the things that you can do is look in your actual notes and see if you have it in your permanent notes right here. And one of the things we got, the fear of the Lord. So one of the things that to connect this to this is I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to click the fear of the Lord is to realize God's position in the universe as we respect and submit humbly to him. So I want to connect that permanent note to our Cornell-Zettel right here. So what we're going to do is the classic. We're going to go ahead and put a double ticks, and then we can type it out. I already see it, but the fear of the Lord is right here, and we're going to go ahead and put a alias, right there, so we can put it in there, and we're going to say fear God. And when we do so, we can get rid of this. And if we were to, say to fear God, what is, the fear God? In case you didn't know, you can hover over it or you can click on it, and it gives us the actual definition that we came up with for the permanent note. So now, what's another thing that we got? Take that off. Want to go ahead. The other thing is to keep his commandments. He is meaning God. Okay. What is another thing that we got? It's like another question or another statement that we want to have is God will bring every work into judgment. And what we'll come up with is going to be 3 of them and stuff. But the statement we want to put in here is God will bring every work into judgment. All right. So right here, what are those things? Good works. Again, shift down. Evil. I'm going to go ahead and do it just like this. Bad works. Even hidden ones or whatever, even the hidden works. And when we read that, it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to read all of this again and see what we've already gained out of this. When we read this, it says the fear of God. It's like, what is the conclusion of the whole matter? When we're thinking about the work that shall be judged. It's like the fear of God and to keep his commandments, for this is man's all, or this is man's duty. This is what he's here to do, is to fear God and keep his commandments. And then it's like in 14 it says, for God will bring every work into judgment, including every secret thing, whether good or evil. So when we see this, we are actually seeing that we have those things to be thinking about. And when we broke it down in our own words, it's like, what's the duty of man? To fear God, keep his commandments. And then God would bring every work into judgment. And what are these works that he's going to bring into judgment? Good works, evil or bad works, hidden works. And where did we get the hidden one? It's like including every secret thing. So that's the hidden works that man does. So God's going to bring all of that into judgment. And when we come to the part of creating, our mini essay, we pretty much want to have something that we can, go by and stuff. So what is it that we have when it comes to that? I've already written it up and stuff, but it's basically said everything that man does will be placed into judgment by God, no matter good, evil, or if it's hidden or not. God will judge our actions. So man should strive to only do these things: fear God and keep his commandments. And that is summarizing this to the best that we could. We probably could try to, compact it a little bit more, but that is a great way to summarize that. So I'm going to type this up and then I'll be right back. Okay, I have already typed out our, mini essay. And another thing that I did was, as I was reviewing everything, I continued to speak about man. I said it in the video, but one of the things that can happen is, as you create your notes, you may forget what you were actually talking about or what is meant in a particular structure or in a certain situation. One of the things we've been talking about was man. So we're going to make it its own, map of content, or we can make it its own, permanent note. But I'm going to make it a map of content, note and stuff. So right here, we've already got the note created. I'm going to hit Control T and we're going to go map of content, contents of man. All right. And then, so we have man there. And one of the things we can also do is, if that's not something that you wanted to do, as I said, we can make it a permanent note and stuff. But I want to make it, that and stuff. Now, as we have all of this here, the thing that we got to work towards now is we need to create a mind map. So we're going to have to create ourselves a canvas. So we have all of this here. What we want to do is hit Control P, and we want to have canvas. And you see that it's already selected. If not, you would type it in. And when we create a new canvas, we have this here. So remember, we have to have a beginning point, a center point, and start branching out from there. What we created our note to be was, man work shall be judged. That was the name of our, Cornell-Zettel. But we want to have like a centerpiece and start branching from there. And what we have, one of the things I came up with was judgment of man's work. So what we're going to do is we're going to create ourselves a card. And from there, we're going to have some stuff branching out from it. So what is it that we want to have? What is the purpose of man? And see, one of the things that we had here. So what I want to do, I want to bring it over here. And remember, we're working towards getting rid of the fleeting note. So we have the Cornell. We could truly get rid of the fleeting note now, but I'm going to hold it there for just a little bit. But we want to just really get, our information here and really start working with it from here. So right here, one of the things we'll have is the purpose of man. What is the purpose of man? We was already talking about what is the duty of man. So right here, man, and what is his purpose? You know, when we are speaking about this, one is keep his commandments. Then see, the second thing that we can come from this is we can come to the side, and we've already spoke about, you know, fear of God. So the fear of the Lord is what we can come with, and that's where we go. Right here, we have the fear of the Lord, and we already have this full thing here talking about, you know, the fear of the Lord. So keep his commandments and the fear of the Lord. So now we have, you know, what is the purpose of man? To fear the Lord and to keep his commandments. So now, what is another thing that we have? What we was talking about was the work and how it's going to be judged. So what is the type of work of man? So when we're thinking about that is we want to come down here, and we're going to draw ourselves a line, make a chord. We're going to say types work by man. All right, so now we have the types of work. So what was the, you know, three that we came up with? We came up with actually three: good, evil, and hidden. So what we want to do is, I'm going to say good work. That's another one. I said evil. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there, you know, parentheses, bad work. Move it down so across, and then we can just come from here and have another chord, and we're going to actually say that's the hidden work. Now remember, the purpose of a mind map is to help us to start realizing, can I get one central idea out of what we're working on right here? And when we look at this, there's actually, you know, already one permanent note, one idea, which is this: to realize God's position and stuff in the universe. Now, can we make a permanent note out of keep his commandments? We actually could. So maybe we will. What's another thing? Good work, bad, you know, evil work, bad works, hidden works. Do we want to make permanent notes out of those? That's what we want to talk about and go over. But right now, to help yourself, your future self, to actually realize what's going on, we're going to get the colors here. So we're going to go ahead and I said orange with this, and then we're going to do green, I say, and we're going to keep this as it's still in the same, you know, spec. It's still in the same, you know, conversation of each other. We're just going to have everything green out through here. So we're going to keep it green. That way we know that all of this is related to itself, you know, to that one central idea. And right here is going to be green. All right, so now here we're going to have this to be, let's make it blue. Let's go with actual blue. I'm going here with a blue like that. All right. We'll have this blue. 4, and then we'll go just like so. I know a lot of you is probably wondering, how in the world did he remember that? So it's a 4, 117. Yeah, sometimes, and we could just get that. If I could get the blue to highlighted cell. Won't have to. That's not what I want. So alright, so now go back here. And I'm going to probably erase all of this because I want to make sure. Okay, so now what we have is we have our blues, which is more of a dark navy. We have the orange, that's the central point, and how it's going to be the strong point of our argument and stuff, and our thoughts and stuff. And we have the purpose of man. What is it? We have that. So now, do we want to make any of these, permanent notes, that thought that we want to walk away from when we're thinking about this? And I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, it's like one of the things that we want to think of. Let's go ahead and see if we want to make a permanent note out of this. We're going to convert it to file. So right click, convert to file. Okay. Do we want to make anything else a permanent note? Right here. Let's see. Good works. Want to make it a permanent note? Yep. Let's go ahead and make it a permanent note. So we're going to right click, convert to file. Good works. What about here? Go make it. Let's see. I'm going to say bad works. We're going to go ahead and convert this. Hidden works. So now, one of the things that we got, we're going to actually have 4 new created notes. And these notes is going to be permanent notes. So what we want to do is we want to go start right here with the bad works. So right here. See how that actually is stated as that? I'm going to go ahead and hit Control T, make it a permanent note. What does bad works mean? And where's the reference? Remember, we got to have a reference, because whenever it's a permanent note, it's got a reference somewhere. Bad works. We're going to say these are the works that goes against God's instructions. So these are the works that go against God's instruction. Like I said, disobedience, or sin, but that's going to be more than one thought. So what is it that you want to say with this? And this is the works that goes against God's instructions or commandments. I'm going to make it just like this. That way we know that's what it is. I can take out instructions and put commandments. But I'm going to keep it like that. What we referencing? We're going to reference our Cornell-Zettel. So what is the name of it? Man work shall be judged. That's what we're going to reference. All right. And we're going to go ahead and put it in the permanent notes section. Now let's go ahead and put in here, man work shall be judged. We're going to put it in the Cornell-Zettel section. So now let's go to good works. How we're going to do it? Same thing. And I'm going to break it on down. So we're going to come down, Control T, permanent note. With God's commandments. All right, same thing. We want to go in here, just like so. So DM hidden works. Come down. Now this one could be a little different because the hidden works, what is it meaning? Hidden works to us would be things that works that we try to hide from others, but only us and God know. So let's see. Works that are hidden from everyone but yourself and God. So right here, all the other works that we have and stuff, it's kind of like we trying to hide what we're doing from God. And this is what this means right here. Works that are hidden from everyone but yourself and God. So we have that. We're going to make reference to Cornell-Zettel. And right there, we're going to put them. Let's go ahead and move them to the permanent notes. All right. So then we do have man. We'll go to it in a second. But right here is keep God's commandments. So do this. And to keep God's commandments is doing work, and when we are in line with doing God's work, let's see, when we are in line with God's instructions, so this is like keeping his commandments. It's like actively doing his, this is actively keeping his commandments, keeping his instructions. That's what, keep his instructions mean. So we're going to do that. And so we have that. So now, as right now, all of our permanent notes have a home and are not like literally going anywhere. It's like we have a connection. So right now we got to make sure that a mind map right here that we created, we're going to have to give it a name, but we're going to call it a judgment of man's work. So we're going to right click, rename, and name it. And we're going to put it into section 2, mind maps. All right, so now remember, here's the thing. When we have this, what is it reference to? It's like, what is referencing to, this Cornell-Zettel? What we have is we have the mind map and we have the actual scripture itself. So what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and put that mind map, the judgment of man's work, right there. And let's go ahead and we'll pipe it out. So we have that, and then we're going to go ahead and put right here the actual scripture, which is Ecclesiastes. And yes, I probably have misspelled it, but 13 through 14. So that's where we have, our actual references. So now here's the thing. We no longer have to have, that particular fleeting note. So as of now, we can go, we have everything connected to something. We have man connected as a, map of content. We already have a connection to the fear of the Lord there. We have all these things connected into our canvas. So what we can do is we can go up here to our fleeting note, and this is no longer needed. So there you go. And as we have, man, and right here, we can also just call it, mankind. Such as this. And now we're going to go ahead and put it in here as a map of content. And if you notice, we have God and Jesus, and we have Thomas. So what we want to put here, we're going to go ahead and give it its true meaning first. So let me go right here, give it a drop. To mankind. World. Or the people of the world. So there we go. So where's the first place that this has been referenced? We're going to go right there. That's where it's first been referenced. So now, if you had to go into that and stuff, you can go in here and you can see it. So now, everything is connected to something. So, see how we are connected. We have all of our notes connected. All of our notes have a home. Therefore, we have finished our Cornell-Zettel. So the map of content, the MOC, is man. Then when we have the C, which is also like part of the Z, which is Cornell-Zettel, that is what we're working here, man work shall be judged. And then our permanent notes, we had several. What we came up with was, we had one for keep his commandments, good works, bad or evil works, and hidden works. So this is how you work with a Cornell-Zettel. If you want more information about it, just click up onto the card above. And it has been so good and so blessed to be able to be on here and doing this. And I hope that more of you continue to just follow along with my long-term study and to see more of the things that I go in depth with, as far as Obsidian, as far as the Bible, other study methods, and just anything else that is going to be in front of us. So until next time, it's my favorite Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 is, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. Bye.